Let's bring in Democratic member of the Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. Senator, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's start right there. The Senate was in town for part of this week trying to hammer out this deal that would increase border security funding in part of exchange for aid going to Israel and Ukraine. Seemed like some momentum was made, but no deal struck. Give us the very latest as to where things stand.
Well, Jonathan, I am hopeful that when we return in the first week of January, that the small and engaged group of bipartisan negotiators who also have active participation from the administration will have language for us to take up and vote on. I'll remind you, it was now many weeks ago that President Biden asked the Senate to take up and pass a supplemental funding bill that included $14 billion for the border, to hire more Border Patrol agents, to install more screening facilities that would help screen out fentanyl coming through our borders, that would strengthen our border security. And it is a key part of the pathway forward. Republicans and Democrats are now engaged in negotiating some changes in policy that would complement that investment. But, Jonathan, all the way back in January, President Biden, in his State of the Union address, appealed to all of Congress to take up and pass both increased border security funding and legislation that would strengthen the administration's ability to control our border. We so far have not found that compromise. Given my recent conversations with the negotiating team, I'm optimistic that compromise will be finished by the time we get back in about 2 weeks.
So, Senator, let's stay on the border for just a moment more. Some Democrats have been really concerned about a deal that would give the executive branch more power over the border for fear that what Donald Trump would do with that were he to be elected again. But is that almost a short-sighted approach where if a deal with the border is struck and it becomes less of a political liability for President Biden, it would therefore reduce the chances of another Trump term?
I think that's right. I think this is an issue that is resonating all over our country and where there are concerns expressed by people all over the country. One thing I often hear from folks is that they want us to close the border. But the United States and Mexico are now very robust trading partners. Mexico is actually our biggest trading partner in the world. And I went to the border to El Paso and Yuma with a bipartisan group of senators that included Senators Langford and Murphy, Sinema, and Cornyn early this year. To see that border crossing, it's amazing how busy it is, how many trains and trucks and cars and people cross every day in legal commerce. That's why President Biden is asking for us to invest more in securing the border. It's at these critical border ports of entry that we have to be able to insist on a legal, safe, and humane system that allows those with actual credible claims for asylum to come into our country, but prevents those who are just economic migrants from coming into our country. Solving that problem while still having robust trade is a significant challenge that requires all of us to put down the tools of partisanship and focus on lasting solutions.
Senator, you're working with a bipartisan group of members on your side of the Congress. Are the Republican senators that you're working with, are they able to find like-minded House Republicans? Are the negotiations going on at the House side as well to ensure that there is some Republican support in that body for whatever you all come up with?
Well, I'm not one of the small group of senators actually at the table negotiating language now, but I am in regular touch with them and support this effort. They are consulting with House Republicans and Democrats. There's a lot of concern expressed by folks in both caucuses because the text hasn't been broadly shared yet. And immigration and border security law, our laws around things like asylum and border control are very complex and difficult to draft. This is going to end up being something that will lose votes both in the Republican and the Democratic caucuses in the Senate. But it's got to have enough Democratic support as it passes the Senate for there to be robust Democratic support in the House. There isn't enough support in the House to pass even their extreme vision, H.R. 2, and something that is a more respectable, moderate, supportable compromise is going to have both Democratic and Republican support. if I could just remind you, this is all in very sharp contrast to former President Trump, who is becoming increasingly extreme in his rhetoric about immigration and in his proposals to restore the Muslim ban, to use the military to screen and arrest and deport from the center of our country people believed to be undocumented. His proposals are getting more extreme as we are closing in on a sustainable bipartisan solution.